If you've been diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome, you know the exhausting reality. You're managing antihistamines, you're carrying an EpiPen or epinephrine everywhere, avoiding the endless triggers that seem to change without warning. The flushing, the hives, the digestive chaos, your heart's racing, brain fog, all of that all at once with no clear pattern. And here's what makes it even more frustrating. Your doctors tell you it's idiopathic, which is medical terminology for we don't know why this is happening. They manage the symptoms, but no one's asking the bigger question. Why do your mast cells become hypersensitive in the first place? Now, we see this pattern constantly within our office. Someone comes in with a MCAS diagnosis, a bag full of medications and supplements, and a list of triggers that keeps growing by the day. Now, they've seen allergists, immunologists, gastroenterologists, and functional medicine experts as well. Everyone agrees that the mast cells are overactive, but no one can explain why. Now, this is what conventional medicine misses is that mast cell activation doesn't happen in isolation. And the research actually shows that mast cells respond to signals from the autonomic nervous system. And when that communication system is dysregulated, stuck, and in chronic stress mode, mast cells become hypersensitive to normal stimulus that shouldn't trigger them. So let's dive in. Mast cells are your immune system's first responders. They're stationed throughout your body to release histamine when they detect real danger, something that's not supposed to be there. In an MCAS, the activation threshold is set way too low, and they start to react to things that shouldn't be threats. And this is what medicine doesn't explain. The immune system is actually controlled by our autonomic nervous system, specifically the vagus nerve. So you can think about your nervous system like a car. Sympathetic fight or flight is our gas pedal. The parasympathetic and the vagus nerve acts as our brake pedal. And in MCAS, the gas pedal is stuck down and the parking brake doesn't even work. So your nervous system interprets normal things as threats. Mast cells release the histamine in response. This is what's called sympathetic dominance, and it actually creates the environment for this mast cell chaos. Now, MCAS doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's not random, not just bad luck. It develops after years and oftentimes decades of constant onslaught of stressors that are overwhelming the nervous system and overwhelming the immune system. Now, teen girls, young adult women, and moms are carrying an unprecedented load of stress in three massive categories. First is the chemical stress. There's the toxins and the hormone disruptors. And today, females specifically are swimming in endocrine disruptors. There's plastics and BPA and phthalates, there's glyphosate and pesticide residues, there's artificial fragrances and cosmetics, heavy metals and mold and ultra processed foods, seed oils and inflammatory diets. And on top of that, birth control pills, the synthetic hormone exposure, or SSRIs and other medications, acne medications, repeated antibiotic usage, steroid prescriptions. Now, these compounds don't just affect hormones, they actually alter immune signaling and mast cell behavior. Now, when mast cells are constantly exposed to chemical stress, they become hyper reactive. Now, the second stress is physical, coming from hormones, coming from structural, coming from physiological. You see, female psychology is not static. It's cyclical and it's dynamic. But then we start layering in puberty hormone shifts, menstruation, pregnancy, postpartum, depletion, breastfeeding demands, sleep deprivation, perimenopause, menopause, hormone instability. Each stage is a neurological, physiological, and immune stress event. But then we add in high intensity sports, overtraining, undereating, chronic inflammation, concussions, and auto accidents, and sedentary tech posture. The body never gets a reset. And over time, the autonomic nervous system shifts toward survival mode, and then mast cells respond accordingly. And the third big stress is the emotional side. There's trauma, there's pressure, and there's the mental load. And this may be the most overlooked: academic pressure, social media comparison, body image stress, relationship trauma, workplace burnout, financial stress, caregiver overload, the invisible mental load that moms and women carry. And that chronic emotional stress drives cortisol levels super high. It gets them deeper into sympathetic dominance. Our vagal tone starts to suppress. The immune gets dysregulated. And mast cells are directly wired to those stress hormones. So when the brain lives in fight or flight, mast cells also follow. So there's this three-stage progression. Now, the first is the accumulation or the years of chemical, of hormonal, of physical, and emotional stress stacks up and compounds. Now, symptoms are oftentimes subtle at first, right? Where PMS symptoms are worsening. There's migraines and anxiety, bloating, the histamine sensitivity, fatigue, but labs often look normal. And going further, stage two is the dysregulation. You see, the nervous system shifts into a chronic sympathetic dominance, where we actually see more exhaustion, and symptomatically, we start to see more hormone chaos, cycle irregularities, autoimmune markers flare up, POPs systems come up, food sensitivities, hives, flushing, itching, brain fog. Mast cells are then primed in this stage. And then on the final, it's hyperreactivity, where the MCAS actually start to emerge, right? The system loses discrimination. The mast cells begin reacting to temperature changes, to food that we previously tolerated, to smells, to stress, to our hormonal shifts, to supplements. And at this point, it looks like everything is a trigger, but the root isn't random sensitivity. It's long-standing autonomic nervous system dysregulation under these big chronic stressors. And this is a big reason as to why MCAS often clusters with POTS, with EDS, with fibromyalgia, and with dysautonomia. Now, these aren't isolated conditions, they share a common thread that nobody's talking about: the chronic nervous system dysregulation that's driving the immune misfiring. Now, medicine often treats the histamine side, the hormonal aspect, the anxiety, the inflammation, maybe the gut, but it misses that central command center, which is our autonomic nervous system. And until that piece is actually addressed, the storm keeps on cycling. Now, antihistamines and mast cell stabilizers and leukotriene inhibitors, they help to manage symptoms and keep you safe, but they don't address why the mast cells became hypersensitive in the first place. So if your car's parking brake is stuck, pressing harder on the gas helps to move you forward, but you're burning more fuel. You're wearing out the engine. You haven't released the brake pedal, and you're going to cause that brake pedal to shut down and break too. And that's what medication does for MCAS. It actually helps you function without fixing the stuck brake. You see, the vagus nerve is that brake pedal. And when it's not working, your body can't calm the inflammatory responses. Conventional medicine sees mast cells as the problem, but misses the nervous system dysfunction that's actually driving it. Now, at our office, we use the insight scans to measure this nervous system function and reveal what's actually happening within the body. And this is what we typically see with MCAS. We see high sympathetic activity. So that gas pedal is floored with low vagal tone or a weak brake pedal. We start to see patterns of neurological exhaustion and significant tone and tension patterns throughout the neuromuscular system, and poor adaptability and a reduced resilience to outside stressors and triggers. Now, neurologically focused chiropractic care addresses the dysfunction by removing stress and subluxation, especially where the vagus nerve is the most vulnerable. And as neurological function is restored, vagal tone improves, that brake pedal starts working, and the nervous system shifts out of that chronic threat mode. Now, these scans often improve before symptoms do. You see, people see nervous system regulation on the inside scans weeks before they notice fewer reactions. Now, this is healing from the inside out, addressing that foundational dysfunction first so that the other systems can come back online over the course of care. So, if you struggle with mast cell activation syndrome and you want to dig deeper into the root cause, check the link in our bio. Send us a DM to learn more about the role that sympathetic dominance, dysregulation, dysautonomia, and straight up exhaustion may be playing within the nervous system. Now, these scans can be life changing. They take maybe 10 minutes to be able to complete, but they're going to be helping you learn truly what's going on deep within the nervous system so that you can develop a more effective drug-free action plan from there. Or if you're just flat out ready to help and you want to schedule an appointment with us at Haven Family Chiropractic right here in Katy, we can do that too. You'll find the links to do just that in our bio as well. Or send us a DM and we'll reply right away and get you on the books. You see, the nervous system and the immune system are meant to heal, recover, and be in balance, not in this state of constant overreaction. So let's work together to bring your nervous system back into balance and to the other side of these daily challenges.